The throat chakra governs expression and reception, communication and listening. If you want to learn how to manifest by the magical resonance of your throat chakra, then stay tuned. Hello everyone, welcome to the Charmed Life YouTube channel. This channel is all about magic, metaphysics, mysticism, and the unconditional love of the universe, and I am your host. My name is Tricia Carr, and I want to invite you to like, subscribe, share, comment, and click the little bell to get notifications when I post more videos. And this is an installment in my series of magical chakras, how to infuse more magic into your relationship with each of your personal chakras. And infusing more magic into your personal chakras infuses more magic into your life. And yes, you do have a relationship with these energy centers. You can certainly work with them as you would with any high vibrational relationship. So let's get into the throat chakra. It is the fifth in the alignment of our 7 personal chakras going from root to crown. It is seated right here in the throat, as the name would indicate. It's associated with the bright blue ray, a very light and bright blue. Some people associate it with like a sky blue or a robin's egg blue, while the third eye is a rich, deep indigo blue. So this, many shades of blue really, but it tends to be a brighter shade of blue. Now, the primary function of the throat chakra is, of course, communication, but equally listening. And really what that dials down to is vibration and resonance. So think about this communication and listening. These are two sides of the same coin. And if we're thinking about a kind of polarity or duality, that is what vibration is. That's what vibration requires. Think of something vibrating. It's going back and forth, right? It's toggling back and forth. So then if we slow that down, imagine that the throat chakra, that it is mainly working with vibration and resonance is a vibratory activity, then we are going communication, listen, communication, listen. They are equally important. Now, we may think of throat chakra, so we think of the mouth and we think of releasing expression, but it's also receiving expression. Equal parts. These are both very important when we're talking about the throat chakra. Equally important to develop listening and communication, expression and reception. What's so cool about the function of the throat chakra is that you can raise your vibration, meaning to raise the vibration of your whole field, of your aura, of your life, of your being. You can raise your vibration with your throat chakra. So that means that you can use expression to raise your vibration. But equally important, I keep saying equally important because it keeps being equally important, that before you are to communicate, it's ideal to raise your vibrations. So it's kind of an either-or situation. You can activate the raising of your vibration by utilizing the tool of the throat chakra. But before you have a meaningful thing to say, maybe you are doing a high-quality, high-vibrational listening so that your vibration is raised, and then use the execution of the throat chakra to further that proper expression and communication. The throat chakra is so magical. It is so magical because everything that is given out into the world of any type, not just speaking, but anything, any of the energy centers, when they actually are going to manifestation, they must run energy through the throat chakra. The more proximate energy centers go directly through the throat chakra. So that means that the crown and the third eye go directly through the throat chakra. Heart goes directly through the throat chakra. And the root is a little more indirect, but these energies are all moving through throat chakra. The expression of vibration, the expression of our frequency. And so it is a highly important chakra when we are talking about magical manifestation. And now for these messages.
Do you have a sense that there's more to life than what you can see?
Lightshine Spiritual Academy presents the Intuitive Intensive, a groundbreaking 8-week program designed to blast open your intuitive abilities and catapult you into a dynamic, connected, and psychic life.
Join spiritual teachers Crystal Ann Compton and Tricia Carr in this immersive program of education, high vibration, and group coaching. Class begins the week of January 23rd, 2022.
And so the quality, function, and the actual tool of the throat chakra is resonance. So just think about what resonance is. Resonance is when two different frequencies come together and coalesce to create a single frequency. Oh, isn't that beautiful? So it is love, it is bonding, it is coming together, it is unity frequency. That's what the throat chakra is. It's what it does, but it is what it is. It is resonance. And so the way that we actually manifest with the throat chakra is we raise our vibration to the resonance with that which we choose to manifest, even if it doesn't exist yet. The thought form of it, the avatar of it, the imagination of it in our imaginal plane, we raise our vibration to it, we identify to it, and then we create resonance. Boom, there's your magical manifestation. That's how throat chakra works. Now, what can damage the throat chakra? What degrades its positive qualities and its function is usually something that is an untruth, something that is the opposite of an accurate expression. And so we can say lies. A lie is the antithesis of the throat chakra, because the throat chakra is truth. It is accuracy. It is resonance, and resonance means two things becoming one. Whereas lies are repellent. It is sending away. It is a discordant frequency. A lie is. And so, I'm going to talk about some ways that we can attune and balance and activate the throat chakra. And one of those ways has to do with eradicating different ways that lies are in our energy. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you are a liar or I am a liar. It just means that it's in our energy. See, if it's also important about what we are hearing, what we are listening to, then we need to be careful of how we are hearing or we are listening to or receiving lies or untruths. But I'll get to that in just a second. Now, let me talk about how you can raise your vibration with your throat chakra. Well, toning, chanting, these are ways that we can actually work to open and kind of warm up the throat chakra. Toning is just using your voice in maybe an unstructured way, maybe a structured way if you have like a track or some kind of pattern of toning that you are doing. But it can also just mean an unstructured way where you are just And so maybe using sacred syllables, like I did the Aum, the holy Om there at the very end, but it can be, again, unstructured. Chanting, of course, that will probably have some kind of pattern to it. I actually am going to share a chant in the crown chakra installment of this series that goes, I am divine, I am divine, I am divine, a channel of light. There are many different ones that you can write for yourself that have a kind of pattern to it, or that have a rhythm or a meter to it. It doesn't necessarily have to have a melody. Chanting and toning may or may not have melody to it or something that is akin to song-like qualities. You can also go on YouTube, which you already are, and you can find so many beautiful toning and chanting tracks. You can find some in Sanskrit, and you can also find some that are in whatever language is your preference. So that is a wonderful way to actually open it. Now, as I say toning, I'm talking about the voice, but even being connected with tones like now I just struck that, but of course this resounds with the hammer as well. And then tuning forks are great, crystal singing bowls, all different ways that you can actually work with tones, or something like a keyboard or a guitar, any kind of instrument. You can use the resonant tones from the instrument to activate and just allow your throat chakra to be coalesced with it, to resonate with those tones. Now, that bowl is attuned, to about G. And G is, in the Western musical system, G is the note that is associated with the throat chakra. However, it doesn't have to be G. It could be any other chord, because the other kinds of hertz and frequencies that might be associated with the other chakras, they still partner together, and they will be doing a kind of a manifesting partnership by whatever you're guided by to use in the tones of our musical scales. And so toning, chanting, using decrees, this is a way to open and attune, and almost like in a neutral way, to just be very neutral, objective. And singing now with some kind of words or melody, that can be a way that it can tend to raise our vibration. So if we were at a lower vibration, singing a song that feels wonderful, whether by the words or even just, or the melody or any part of it, and it feels wonderful to let it out of the voice center, this can be a way to raise the vibration. Now, of course, toning, chanting raises your vibration as well, but it's just, especially the singing with some kind of sentiment will bring it up. And then, of course, while you're singing or toning, we are, of course, expressing, but we want to take moments while we're doing this to recognize that we're listening as well. You see, the throat chakra and the third eye, between these two energy centers are two minor chakras, sub-chakras, and they are the ear chakras. So they actually work in tandem with these major chakras. And that's when we're talking about the listening is important with the throat chakra. That is the strong partnership of these minor chakras, the ear chakras. But we can focus on that throat in order for that full activation. Now, other things that are great to open, activate, and expand the throat chakra, and balance, of course, any kind of free form expression can be great. And so that can be extemporaneous, it can be improvisational, it can be light language or speaking in tongues, something that is non-goal oriented. That is a great way to just be really open and allow whatever the utterances of the soul are to come out. So is laughing, and so is crying. A nice good cry can really open up. Those chugs of crying or the chugs of laughter can shake out any stagnancy from the throat chakra. Now, those are some free-form ways, but it's equally important to have structured ways that we're working with the throat chakra. Just like expression and reception, communication and listening, we have free-form and we also have structured. And what I mean by structured is actually developing communication skills, a way to be able to connect with others through a system. So learning techniques of communicating and listening. There are techniques for listening. There really are. And, that could be with a certain kind of therapeutic counseling. It could be some kind of class or system. You could read a book on it. Communication and listening skills develop and balance the throat chakra. Another thing to do to help the throat chakra and the expression is just to slow down. That's a key for me. That's something I always have to think about. Slow down, take a moment, become really present, and also just the energy of calm. Relaxed, yes, but a calm approach to communicating. This will invoke presence and help us with that clarity of the expression. Help us to be able to pick the structure so that we can better connect with others, with our throat chakra, with our expression and communication center. And it will also help us to work with the structure, but to allow the ease of flow of the non-structure, of the spontaneity. So for those to marry together, we want to slow down and be very calm in our approach. Calming and soothing the energy of the throat chakra will really help it to manifest exactly what is in alignment for us. Other things that help to balance the throat chakra, techniques to think about, ways to develop, is how you articulate. So that can be slowing down, as I'm saying, enunciating, enhancing your vocabulary. So when you read or learn new words, this is going to expand your throat chakra, excite the energy, and give it new tools for your expressing and for your listening. Also, I got to tell you, as we're talking about structure, grammar and punctuation, and this is an unfortunate thing, I think, in our kind of current culture online, is that we're kind of leaving off the grammar, we're leaving off the punctuation, but that is actually a structure that helps us to be clear with one another. I don't know how many times I receive some kind of communication and it's a question without a question mark, and it just doesn't read as a question. And so it's not clear and it's not making a resonant connection when we're leaving off some of those tools that we have developed together as a society. So grammar and punctuation, they're actually a throat chakra balancing tool for us. Now, finally, something that is helpful to balancing the throat chakra is using logic. Logic is a structured way to communicate and listen. So if we're listening to someone with their logic and the logical line, that is a way for us to be able to connect with one another's intentions and with one another's truth. And so truth is, it's a tricky word. I usually reserve truth for something that is accurate from all perspectives. But, your what is accurate for you? What is your perspective? So someone else's truth is really their perspective. And if we can meet in the middle and actually gain one another's perspective, find a way to meet, then there is that resonance again. And that's the throat chakra highly functioning. So what we want to do probably is purge ourselves of something. This is in addition to the unfortunate culture of the internet, the lack of grammar and punctuation. Another thing is logical fallacies. I won't spend too much time on this. I actually have a whole download on logical fallacies and what it is in the spiritual landscape and the metaphysical, how the 4D negative kind of entities are actually using logical fallacies to create discordance among us. Now, let me just run down a little bit. What a logical fallacy is, it is a sort of way where it's an underlying untruth about a communication. It's an underlying lie. It's essentially a false premise. That's kind of a logical fallacy. So I'll give you a couple of examples. I'm going to read them, so pardon my eyeline not being looking at you. One example of a logical fallacy is hasty generalization. And so this is a conclusion based off insufficient or biased evidence. In other words, you are rushing to a conclusion before you have all the relevant facts. And so this is an example of hasty generalization. Even though it's only the first day, I can tell it's going to be a boring course. So that's a hasty generalization, and that is a logical fallacy. Fallacy means untrue. It means lie. It means inaccurate. So it is an inaccurate way to use the tool of logic, and it's an inaccurate way to communicate, and essentially there is a fundamental quality of lying in that kind of hasty generalization, in that logical fallacy. Another example of a logical fallacy is slippery slope. And this is a conclusion based on the premise that if A happens, then eventually through a series of events and small steps, B will happen, C will happen, blah, 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 all the way down to Z, thus equating A with Z, saying they are the exact same things. That's called slippery slope. And it's untrue because we create our reality. You see how this is contrary to free will, and it's contrary to our powerful manifestation, and it's actually inhibiting. It's a limited way to think about life and to think about behavior and to think about how powerful we are. Here's an example of a slippery slope statement. If we ban Hummers, the vehicle, if we ban Hummers because they are bad for the environment, eventually the government will ban all cars. So we should not ban Hummers. Now that's not true, is it? We should actually take care to remove certain steps that are creating difficulty or pollution or something along those lines, but it doesn't mean we have to eventually wind up by, the whole world being, or the whole system being depleted by the one first small step that was controlled and measured. So I said I wasn't going to spend too much time on it, but logical fallacy is really it's kind of a tool of marketing. It's a tool of politics. It's a tool of social media. And I just wanted to give you a little taste of that because it is actually damaging our throat chakras, y'all. It's damaging the way that we hear. So we are receiving lies. We may be accepting lies because we're being basically hypnotized. And we are also, we may be using those tools because we don't know better. So I want us to just be awakened to it. And that's the intention here. What do you do about it? Well, recognize it and go, aha, I see that. So, I'm not saying, obviously, we don't judge others for it because we're all guilty of these things. I'm just saying, let's be aware of it. And then let's just balance the throat chakra, purge ourselves of the lies and untruths, and then use our tools to communicate and listen in a truthful way. All right, finally, a little exercise that will help us to open and balance. It's just another example of how to use the throat chakra, a little chanting, a little toning exercise. And this is what I have for you. I'm going to do a holy Om, O-M, but when it is pronounced in one long syllable, we actually pronounce all three of the sounds, which is A, O, and then the I am. So the holy Om is basically the resonance of the universe. It is the holiest of tones or syllables. And then I am is the individuated expression of the God frequency, of the holy frequency, holy meaning holistic. So this is just something that I'm just bringing through for you guys right now. I'm going to let all the air out first. Om, I am, I am, I am. Om, I am, I am, I am. Om. Just until you run out of breath. That was 2.5. I could probably do 3 if I focused a little more. I was doing some mudras as they felt natural. I wound up with the Throat Chakra mudra. All right, guys. If you want to listen back to that and tone along on your own or do something else, be creative with any words that help to open and balance that throat chakra. Anything that is truth for you. Your I am frequency is truth for you, and the Holy Om is truth. Okay, guys, so thank you so much for joining me today. Remember that this is one in a series, so if you check the description, you'll find the link to the playlist of the other ones in this series, and perhaps you'll find some other links to my podcasts and other things I have going on, Mystic Arts Academy, the Energy Intensive, the Intuitive Intensive, all these wonderful things that we always have going on with the Lightshine Academy, and I invite you to like, subscribe, share, click the little bell so you get notifications for when we do the third eye and when we do the crown. And with that, thanks for tuning in. I love you, whoever you are.